Good morning. Hi, I'm here. I'm live. Just wanted to say hello. Welcome to Glamz Closet. If you haven't hit like or subscribe, may I invite you to do that now? Personal invitation from Glamz. If you'd like to subscribe. Thank you so much for all of your time and all of the views. I really appreciate everybody who comes to the chat, and I am eternally grateful for anyone who has subbed to my closet. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. This was the week of the Glam baby. So I had both of my grandchildren this week from Tuesday until Friday. Yeah. And I sort of remember now what that was like. So that was wow. Yeah, that's a definitely a wow moment. It's a lot of energy. It is. It's also a lot of creativity though, and you get to sort of speak in the language of children for a little bit, and that is always fun. I love when I get to spend time with them and rediscover the simple joys of, like, learning to, chop a green pepper, or, just the little things in life that grandbabies are so good at. And like I said, they just, the simplest, smallest things bring them joy. So it was such a treat for me. We had great weather last. Hey, good morning, Dee. Hi, good to see you. We had great weather last weekend. The weather was like in the mid 60s and low 70s, and so I spent like 3 days in a row just out on the deck, just enjoying the weather. And I have a huge wooden deck. My husband built a huge deck onto the house, and so it was really great to be out there and just sort of enjoying the sunshine. We did a low country boil on Sunday, and nobody wanted to touch the crawfish. It's just not our thing. We're very Midwestern. It's just not our thing. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying nobody wanted to touch, the thing that was staring at us. We're not that used to that. But the shrimp didn't have eyeballs, and everybody loved that, and it was spicy and it was fun. So we had a great time doing a low country boil on Sunday. And then just a couple of days out on the deck. And I just, you ever just kind of need the sunshine, and you're like, oh yeah, I could really use this. This is awesome. So yeah. Okay. So first in chat was D Middleman Picker. And if you don't know, he is on the Friday night show with Mess Hall Digs. And it's Mess Hall Buffalo, D Middleman, and the Glass City Pickers. And they really have some great information. So check out their shows on Friday night. It's 6 o'clock, I think, Central, 6 o'clock Central or 6:30 Central. And that translates to Eastern, is like an hour ahead. Good morning, Miss Perla. You are precious. Look at you. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Liv, hello, princess. Good morning. It's nice to see you this morning. I'm glad you're here. Nita, it's nice to see you this morning. Thank you for joining us. Yes, we did. Ronnie, good morning. Tackle hugs. Yeah, we did have some big deck energy. Yes. Night's Life. Oh my God. Hi, good morning. Night's Life across the pond in the UK. I have some friends across the pond. I'm international now. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. I know that the time difference sometimes can get a little funky. Good morning, Jen. It's nice to see you, and we're so glad that you're back in the chats. Thank you so much. Kristen, good morning. Mwah. Good morning, my love. I hope the bins are going well. She does bins competitions sometimes, and they are really, really cool. And she's the winner. Don't go up against her, honey. I mean, unless you want a really good video. She has a really good video. Yes, Glamz, seasonal depression is very real here in the Midwest. Every bit of sunshine helps. Yeah, like I was like just soaking in the sun. And I do wear, I'm very, very careful about my face, and because I am a smoker, I'm really careful about my face. and my neck and my hands. So I do wear sunscreen, like a really heavy sunscreen. Plus we have the most white Irish family ever. Like we're almost translucent. It's ridiculous. We're so pale. So yeah, that was a fun thing to do. Good morning, Ciro. Mwah! I'm so glad you came. Thank you so much. I think that catches me up for now, but take a look, guys. I just got my nails done for St. Patty's Day. Miss Sue hooked a girl up. And I haven't had my nails done in like 2 weeks. And so I feel pretty. I feel pretty. I feel girly this morning, and a little bit curly haired. But it's funny because I sat down and I was getting ready to go ahead and just start like 5 minutes early, and I totally forgot to put on deodorant this morning. Yeah, super girly, right? But so I had to run to the bathroom, put on deodorant, and then come back. True, we don't miss that part of the Midwest. That's why I love Colorado. Ah, okay. My depression is a Four Seasons kind of level. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it can be like that. Yeah, I'm a curly girly today. I once upon a time, I was told by more than one person that they loved my hair straight. Specifically, my husband and a couple of other people that I worked with at the time. So I just started straightening my hair, and it was ruining my hair. And it's kind of like anything else with self-care. Once you put your sort of self first, and once you put your own health and in this case the health of my hair first, everybody else was like, oh, I love it, including my husband. He's like, oh my God, I love your curly hair. And I'm like, I've had curly hair my entire life, like our entire married life, and now you're saying this. So yeah, I'm curly haired girl for a little while. It's a hot mess. It's all over the place. But I like it. I don't know. It's easy. I can tell you that. Oh, did I see Jamie? There's Jamie J. Does that mean you're pretty stinky? Yeah, a little bit. I was anyway. No, I got out of the shower and I forgot to put it on. But yeah, I was stinky for a minute there, Jay. I was stinky there for a minute. Oh, thank you so much. What a lovely compliment. I appreciate it. Did I see Jessica? I pimp you out. She's hilarious. I just love her. Jessica, I hope you and the family are doing really, really well. And I thought I saw, there we go. Curly hair is a challenge, but I love it. Yes. And Aisha Dancer, Kristen, has some of the most beautiful curly red hair. Oh my God, this girl's got gorgeous hair. She is absolutely pretty. She's just a pretty girl anyway. It is certainly a challenge. It is certainly a challenge, mostly when it's windy. It just kind of gets in your food and your nose and your mouth and your eyes, and you're like, oh, this is crap. This is crap. So what's coming up this month on Glamz Closet? Thursday mornings with Johnny. I'll resume next week. I was only out this week because I had my grandkids. I also have March the 22nd. I was going to do a SAG red carpet review. It has turned into a SAG and Oscars red carpet review because I totally forgot, guys, that the Oscars were going to happen. How does one forget the Oscars? I don't know, but I did. So it's now a SAG and Oscars red carpet review. So that should be kind of fun. A little opinionated, a little salty, but that's how I do. And then on March the 25th, also for Glamz fundraiser, Classy Crap Auction, March the 25th. It is the Classy Crap Auction you have been waiting for. I do have lots of giveaways and lots of really great things hitting the auction block, and I think you're going to be happily surprised by those. Let's say good morning to Susan's Nexus. Hey, Glamma, I love your hair. I have the complete opposite. Your curls look feminine. Straight hair is super boring. See, I always wanted straight hair. It's that timeless struggle with, people with curly hair always want straight hair, and people with straight hair always want curly hair. And and I would trade you in a heartbeat. I would, just to be able to get out of the shower and not have to do this and not have to put like 1,000 products on it to try and make it not look super dry, which I haven't put my products on yet. But I thank you for the lovely compliment. Cheryl Bajanjem, my warrior queen. Happy snowy Saturday. Oh, it's snowing where you are. Good morning, Glamma, and everyone here. We love a salty review. I'm glad you said that because there may be something coming up, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There is okay, here's the thing. If you don't know, I watch a lot of runway shows. And when I say a lot of runway shows, like a minimum 10 a week, and that's not even like that's not an exaggeration. And I watch the runway shows, and I usually make notes while I'm going along. And sometimes I do it out loud, and sometimes I'll watch the runway show with no sound in the background because I don't want the music to distract me from the fashion. And so sometimes I'm on like a live stream in a back room with like Veronica and maybe Patrick Murphy or something like that. And they hear me muttering at the screen, right? So I'm like, oh my God, that's so dookie. How can you put that on a runway? La 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 la. So I'm like, just kind of talking to myself as I'm going and making little notes. And they seem to find it somewhat entertaining. At least Veronica does. I don't think Patrick understands what I'm saying half the time, but he thinks it's funny. So I was thinking some of these, and these aren't red carpets. These are just like runways, like Versace runway, which I loved. Alexander McQueen, which I found utterly boring, and it almost bored me to death out of my chair. And a couple of in-betweens. Hermes and Ralph Lauren are utterly predictable. You could predict the same fashion show 50 years ago, in my opinion, allegedly. So my question to you is this. I was thinking I might just pop on a live some night, just kind of, late at night or maybe, in the afternoon or something, and just pop on a live and do a runway, a live runway review where we just kind of talk about what's going on the runway. So I would be live commenting as the runway was going. Now the runway wouldn't be live; it'd be pre-recorded because that's how Fashion Forward does it, and the actual brands do it. And I do have to review them somewhat because I got a surprise out of left field from the Moschino. I think it was the Moschino Spring Summer Show last year, where they had, who is that famous? I don't want to say stripper. She's like she's more like I'll be darned if I can remember, but she's more like the fan dance girl, that sort of thing. Somebody Von Dieter or something. I'm drawing a blank this morning. I really have not had enough coffee. But we got a surprise at the end where we got to see her naked butt. So I would review the fashion. I would review the runway before I showed it to you. But yeah, I thought it was fun. Let's see. Sorry, Christian Siriano runway was bad. Sorry. I agree, Ciro. It's just, it wasn't my favorite. I found it a little bit. Yes, Dita Von Teese. Thank you. Yes. No, it doesn't matter. We know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, Dita Von Teese. Yeah, and we saw her butt at the end. I'm not saying she doesn't have a lovely butt. I'm just saying a naked butt on my channel is probably not my best bet. Old time gems and antiques. Good morning, Melissa. Mwah. Hello, how are you, pretty girl? Yeah, it's I wouldn't know what to do. Susan, if you're in, it'll be me, you, and probably Veronica just to give her the giggles. And honestly, if you guys want to see a runway show, a live runway show, I was thinking about doing 2 back to back so we could go, okay, this is the one that I really love. This is the one that I disappointing. Some of them are so derivative too. You've seen this piece walk down every single runway, and you've seen it for the last 30 years walk down every single runway. So could be kind of fun. We'll give that a whirl then. I was also talking about doing some shorts And let me know your thoughts on this too. I'd like to ask the chat. I was thinking about doing some shorts, and I have the weirdest trio of shorts ideas. Okay, but shorts videos help with your watch hours, and that's why people do them. But the shorts ideas, one of them was how to cut an onion without crying. I learned this from Martha Stewart when I was a young bride. And then one of them was how to spot a fake coach, 60-second quick tutorial on how to spot a fake coach. And there is also the other idea that I had was a brief history of Vivienne Westwood, because I find the people around the edges of fashion, I find them very, very interesting. So everybody who's got like sort of an off kilter fashion brand, something that's like a little, strange or weird or whatever, I kind of love that. Yes, I need the onion short. See, I think that one's going to actually end up being evergreen. And if you don't know, the evergreen videos do. That sounds fun. Do it, Glam. Cool. Doing a million things, but we'll be listening. I love it. I love it. Listen in. I'm just going to sit here and blab for an hour. So yeah, listen in. Absolutely. Normally I have printed notes, guys. Today I ran out of ink in my printer, and I totally forgot to order new ink. So if I look like I'm looking back and forth like this in the camera, that's why I'm checking my notes. So yeah, okay, we'll schedule the runway show together with live chat. Maybe we'll make it a let's have dinner and talk about people thing. Again, if you're new here, and I think I recognize everybody, so I don't think you're any too new, but if you're not subscribed, if I could ask you to hit that subscribe button, it costs you, I promise you, it costs you $0. Nothing, not a thing. And Veronica does have a premiere right after this. So she's got a live chat. And she's talking about, there's the link right there. She's going to be talking about some of the brands that she's picked up and some of the, and shoes. I love seeing shoes. Glamz, I'm not going to make no more videos on my channel, but I will be in chats. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jessica. But I'm glad that you'll be in the chats. I'm glad that you'll still be hanging out with us and socializing with us. And I hope everything is okay. And the best of both salty and sweet. You are too sweet. You are too sweet. You're on my sweet list. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. Yeah, hashtag shoes. It's a bins haul. Okay. It is a bins haul. Gee, I just saw the word shoes on her thumbnail and thought that was it's so cute. So yeah, it is hashtag shoes. And we not love our shoes? And Veronica picks up some really cute ones. I'm not really a shoe gal, but I am a Veronica gal. See, I'm both. I am shamelessly both, unfortunately, Liv. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Yvonne. It's so good to see you. Hello. Good morning. I hope your Saturday is going fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about some fashion updates. Zendaya has been embraced by Louis Vuitton as a brand ambassador. Now, I have just a little bit of thoughts on that because Zendaya is very young, and I know that LV wants to have that young appearance. But I've seen their fashion shows in the past 5 years, and I hope it doesn't ruin her career or ruin her red carpets. They have put her in some really good things so far. So I've got massive hope for it. But I'm also a little bit wary because just when it's kind of like Chanel, just when an older house, sort of gets a young face and puts them in their clothing, sometimes they can make them look older than they are. And Zendaya is a very young, beautiful girl. And I hope they don't do to her what Chanel did to Margot Robbie, which is, sort of age them with the clothes. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. We're going to keep an eye on that one and we'll update as possible. Oh, I did watch the Alexander McQueen runway show for fall winter. It was a snooze. It's kind of a ton of what we've seen before from Sarah Burton, but they did do size and race inclusivity, and I enjoyed that. They did size, race, gender inclusivity on their red carpet, and it's nice to be able to see people who, whose body type more resembles yours, whose size more resembles yours, where it's not like, oh, look, there's a stick figure with the suit on. Look, there's a stick figure with the dress on. Look, there's a stick figure. You get the idea. So I was happy about their size inclusivity. I just wasn't happy about their line of clothing for this year. They had a few things that I was like, oh, that's nice. But for the most part, I was just kind of bored. I think there are a couple of pieces that they had in that collection that are derivative, and it's not that there aren't, fashion similarities across the board. Of course there are going to be. But when something so obviously is derived from somebody else's idea and it's an iconic, very style icon-y idea, it drives me crazy. I'm like, come on. But we will talk about the Versace red carpet because, loved it. And speaking of red carpets, prom red carpets are sort of a new keyword for formal dress sales and tuxes, things like that. You may want to put red carpet in if you have like a prom dress, prom shoes. If you're going for the homecoming dance, if you're going for for the formal, you may want to put prom and red carpet in there because apparently a lot of the teens that are purchasing these things are looking for a red carpet sort of look. And now a lot of the schools have started putting up what we call a step and repeat, which is a background. It's kind of like the background at the Oscars where it's got like, Oscars written on it or something. And they've started doing like red carpet moments for their photography because everybody's taking their own pictures now. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Prom, red carpet. I would use those as keywords because I think they're looking for those. I feel like Zendaya has a pretty strong opinion, so maybe she'll nix anything that doesn't work for her. I have seen that so far. That seems to be the case. And so I'm hoping she continues. Yes, all bodies are good bodies, right? I mean, if you're upright and you're above the ground, if you're above the dirt, it's a pretty good body. And if you're not, God love you. And I hope you're floating around and having a good time. We do love our stick figure friends also. It's not that there aren't clothes for thin people. It's just that, the runways have historically catered to the ultra, ultra thin and ultra, ultra tall and super, super young. And, it's nice to see some inclusivity. I really appreciate that from Alexander McQueen, even though the runway show was not that great, in my opinion. Victoria's Secret fashion show is coming back after a 4-year hiatus. According to a Vogue internet poll, people are almost exactly divided down the middle as to whether or not this is a good thing. So I guess my question to you in the chat, good morning, Michael, my love. Mwah, that's my angel right there. So I guess my question to you in the chat is, how do we feel about this? How do we feel about the Victoria's Secret fashion show coming back? Do you think it's going to renew interest in the Victoria's Secret that you're selling in your closet? Do you think it's a good thing for resellers? Do you think it's a bad thing and it exploits women? How do you feel about that? I'm just curious. It's neither here nor there for me. I mean, honestly, I don't think Victoria's Secret exploits women any more than any part of the fashion industry. I think the entire fashion industry does that very quite well. And in a lot of cases, they will put models into situations that are, that are dangerous and are, so yeah, and in compromising positions and young girls in positions where they have to do things to get ahead that I disagree with. So Victoria's Secret has lost its momentum in the fashion industry and is a dying brand. That is a very insightful thing. That's an insightful thing to say, and it's possibly quite true. I think it's unnecessary. Yeah, I don't think they need to stretch it down the runway. On the other hand, if they're going to do it anyway, I hope my Victoria's Secret sales pick up. That sounds awful. I know. But yeah, you're right, Michael. I think they've lost their momentum in the fashion industry, and they may be a dying brand unless they have something come in that's really special. Let's see. I'm a plus size and I love me, but I want to be healthy to live longer and be around to see my grandkids when I grow up. I want to be able to still do fun things. And that's, I think that we can do, I think that you can be both healthy and plus sized. I don't think they're exclusive from one another. I have a friend who really exercises a lot, but she just could not lose the weight. And we're talking about like she would enter in like 5Ks, marathons, the whole nine. She was a runner, but she could not lose the weight until she got like a stomach bypass surgery. So there are some things that are genetics, some things that are that are medication oriented. You never know. So you can't always assume, Susan, I think that's a very positive message. You can't always assume that somebody has, that somebody's not exercising if they're built differently than you. And I'm glad that you love you because we love you. I think they're backpedaling a lot. They finally have more inclusivity in their models, but it's kind of too little too late. Yeah. I think it's unnecessary. The fashion show. I mean, oh yeah. That's, I honestly, I agree with that. I watched one show. I wasn't impressed. I see more about the artist and how many feathers, sequins, and tassels you could pile onto a $68 bra. I love it. Interesting. I've always loved fashion. I'm a plus, and to be honest, I prefer skinny models on runway. I feel like runway is art. I love the Victoria's Secret fashion and the Victoria's Secret angels. Yeah. Let's see. I like their bras, but nothing else about Victoria's Secret. I love the leggings from Pink. They last forever. I'm a plus size too with some physical disability in the way of exercise. That happens. That happens. That's the thing. A lot of overweight people are still healthy. The BMI is extremely biased and doesn't count for a lot. Yeah. And having some luck with keto. Yeah, somebody was telling me the other day that that they did a short video on like a keto lunch that they were making or a keto breakfast or something, and they got a lot of watches out of it. The medical science disagrees, and everyone has been about science, right? Well, yeah, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other for sure. It's hard to know what your healthiest, what your healthiest weight is, what your healthiest you is. I think really only you can tell that. If you feel good, if you look good, if you have energy, if you don't absolutely hate the way you look, then yeah, I think that's your healthy medium. I absolutely. But it's interesting that you say that about the runway models being historically thin, because it has more to do with how it hangs on, how the garment hangs on them than it does, with them being, them being, what we should aspire to be. It has to do with how it photographs and how it hangs on them. They're basically a walk-in clothes hanger. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, in some ways it is art. But I do believe that there are people who can, I do believe that there's a way to be inclusive without excluding the other part of fashion, which is the beautiful runway show and the art of the beautiful runway show. I don't know what that is. I'm not quite there, but yeah, I think it is. Glamz, they wore what? Good morning, Jennifer Hayes. Good morning, gorgeous. The dude that came up with BMI was racist, so I've actually researched a lot about it. Good morning, Maggie. How are you this morning? Mwah, it's good to see you. Yeah, we're up early and already talking about fashion. So yeah, that's interesting. In reseller news, and we'll get to this week in sales in a minute. In reseller news, though, the Girl Scout limited edition Raspberry Rally cookies, which is funny because we were just talking about BMIs. The Girl Scout limited edition Raspberry Rally cookies are apparently they really are limited edition. You know how people say something's limited edition and then there's like a bajillion of them? These are actually limited edition and they're selling for hundreds of dollars on eBay, which is crazy. I don't think I would pay hundreds of dollars for a cookie. I think people tend to lose perspective. But if you have some, oh, they're out of stock. Is that what's going on? Your grandkids are selling them. Girl, buy some up. If they got them, buy some up and sell them on eBay. You can make a fortune on those cookies for $3.25 a box or whatever they are now a box. I don't know. I just give the girl a 20 outside of my grocery store, and we treat it like a back alley deal. I'm like, here's the 20, and she's like, here's the cookies, and we go our separate ways and never talk about it again. But yeah, they've got the raspberry rally cookies. So if you can get your hands on some, I think the resale value is high on those. According to online tech news site Gizmodo, which is usually ahead of the curve on most of the techie stuff. TCG Player, a site where collectors can buy and sell any number of collectible cards used in games like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. It's the first subsidy of eBay to unionize. They knew that they were going to face opposition from management, and now only a week after its successful supermajority vote to unionize with the communion, I'm taking communion right now, with the Communications Workers of America, the CWA, the union has filed several unfair labor practice charges against eBay itself. The CWA alleges that the eBay has held illegal captive audience meetings, issued out retaliatory discipline and threats about unionizing, and conducted surveillance on union activities within TCG Player. In addition to filing with the National Labor Relations Board, the union also delivered a letter to eBay's board of directors demanding the company commit to a labor neutrality agreement. So that is what's going on with eBay. They actually have there is a subsection of eBay, the TCG cards people, and they have unionized. It's interesting because you never think of like the reselling world being unionized. But my husband is part of the IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. And I have two sons. One is a Teamster and the other one is, I forget what union he's in. But he works for Amazon. So he's in their union. So I have like a really strong union family, like my husband's almost entire family, like his uncles and his dad and his grandpa and all of those guys were big union guys. So I really feel like eBay hired a company that was like they're sort of known as an aggressive union buster. And I really feel like eBay didn't need that bad press. They get enough. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to turn out. But I mean, honestly, sometimes I think the union is the only way to get a living wage. That's the only way to get people to get these major companies to finally, cut into their $1 billion profit margin and actually pay people a living wage. Oh no, you're going to get $1 billion this year instead of $4 billion. Guess what? Now you have $1 billion plus loyal workers. So, I mean, plus loyal workers with decent health care who can actually afford their rent. So yeah, I'm kind of a pro union girl. You can tell by the, I was in a union when I worked at Kroger. They took care of their workers. Yes, they do. Those workers need the union. I think they do. I think they do. And Michael, you're right that 100% pro union, but eBay will end up selling off that part of their division to keep the unions out of their main company. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds right. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Although that would also get them sued. So that's going to be that. Like I said, that's going to be a fight to watch. That is going to be a fight to watch. Okay, we want to, let me go into what sold this week. And let me share my screen. Let's show my screen. Oh, look, it's Glamz Closet. Okay. So let's start with, there we go. Okay, let's start with these. The PJ Harlow light gray satin pajama pants. They were in smalls, and they've got like a silky finish. It's kind of hard to see unless you're really close to the pictures, but they've got this beautiful silky finish. I just thought they were so cute. So those were sold for $17. So we're looking at the comfort on those. And then Vera Bradley crossbody print bag. I have to quit picking up Vera Bradley. It's just not my favorite thing to sell. It's just not my favorite. It doesn't ever go for a lot for me. And I know that some people can really like hustle that Vera Bradley money. And I hats off to you. It's just not something that really moves in my closet for whatever reason. So I'm probably I'm gonna sell off and give away what I've got. Most of it. Part of those will be in some of the giveaways. This came in a fun box. This was Spanx black pantyhose. I thought pantyhose were going to be darn near impossible to sell, and those were going to sit in my closet for a year. And they sold right away for $8, and I'm like, cool. So those were the black Spanx pantyhose. Levi's 550 relaxed fit light wash 40 by 30 blue jeans. I had a lady who was asking me, she actually reached out to me and asked me about the measurements across the hips and the thighs, to measure each thigh. And normally when somebody asks you for extra measurements, when you've provided so many other measurements, like I have the waist, the rise, the inseam. Usually when somebody asks you for all those extra measurements, I feel like it's kind of just somebody screwing with you. But I provided them, and I provide them, and graciously. And I was not too salty about it. I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and measure them. And I'll be darned if they didn't sell. So this was a success story. They were 16, and most of what sold. Sorry, guys. Okay, most of the stuff that's sold this week is stuff that has been sitting in my closet for a while. So I was really happy to see that. Yeah, sorry about that. I meant to push back and I pushed X. I X'd out. And then these were just the other 4 sales. And these first 3 things were a bundle. So there's the belt, and then there is a skirt, and there's a Robert Graham jacket. Now, the Robert Graham jacket I loved, and I had $80 on that thing, and it didn't sell for the longest time. I got lots of likes, but never really sealed the deal. So I bundled it all together and did a bundle for like $65, I think, on this. And that included the jacket, and then the belt, and then the skirt. And again, this is all stuff that's been sitting in my closet for freaking ever. So I sold that bundle, and that was a good bundle. I mean, it wasn't a great bundle, but it was enough to get me where I was going. And then the last thing I sold is actually sitting in my mailbox getting ready to ship out today. And again, another thing that's been sitting in my closet for a while, Pilcro and the letterpress super light wash cotton denim zip up skirt size 2. And you can imagine why that has taken so long to sell, because it is a size 2. And the size 2s are always they're always just kind of hard to sell. So final numbers for this week. And yes, I did give them a really good deal. And I was just trying to, sometimes you just need to move stock, and there's stuff that's been in your closet forever. So, I wanted to move stock, and I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, honestly only had 6 sales this week, really, with the bundle. It wasn't a good week for me at all. I mean, it was a good week. I'm alive, I'm healthy, and my sales were fine, but still. Okay, so the bundle of the skirt, jacket, and the belt went for $65. With free shipping. And so I gave him one heck of a deal. I wanted this stuff out of my closet so badly. So I netted $44.03 after the shipping discount and after Poshmark took their fees. I had the pajama pants, a bag, hosiery, jeans. The hosiery went for $8, so I got $5.05 out of that. And then I had a $16 sale, $17 sale, $14 sale, and a $16 sale. My total gross for the week was $136. My profit before cost of goods was $97.31. And after the cost of goods, which is about on the average about $3 per thing, which was $21. So after that, all my net is $76.31 for the week. So very, very on the low side. But yeah. I think she's only on Posh. Yeah, I'm not only on Posh, but I haven't paid attention to my eBay store in a very long time. So I need to get back on my eBay store and start selling, because it's getting me. I always start going through racks at size large and then go back to small and medium if I feel like it. Larger sizes just sell better. They really do, Susan. And sometimes I'll get like the size 2 stuff, and usually that's in some sort of a ThredUp box, because ThredUp knows they don't sell, and they send them to us in the boxes anyway. So yeah, that was part of a denim ThredUp box, that size 2. But I mean, it was Pilcro and the letterpress, so I was kind of great that I'm honestly just grateful for anything that's gone out the door this week. And I didn't share as much this week, even on my Posher VA. I hardly shared it all this week. I hardly listed it all this week because I had my grandkids with me for, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that was, I had them a lot. And they require my full focus in order to make sure that they're not literally the first night they were eating. I heard the ice maker going, and it has a different sound when it's making crushed ice. And they made crushed ice, and they put like 2 giant tablespoons of sugar in it, and we're just eating sugar ice. And I'm like, okay, you can't do this. You're going to end up busting every tooth out of your head. So yeah. If I get tiny stuff, it's usually donated from my sister. My sister donates stuff to me too. I love that. But if I get teeny tiny stuff, it's from like the younger people in the family, usually like the teenagers and stuff like that, because I mean, we like to eat. But my sister has great taste. So when she eats, I'm always thrilled. So those were my sales for the week. And at this time, I would like to talk about what's going on when I share my Poshmark closet and it puts my listings out of the cute order that I had them in. I have a very cute order 9 times out of 10 for my listings in my Poshmark closet. I'm like, oh, this is cute, and this is cute, and this is cute, and and I try to color coordinate and put the designers together, and I do all of this work just to make it look very cute at first glance. And every single time I do a multi-share on Posher VA, it takes my stuff out of order. It's driving me crazy, and I don't know how to stop that, but I'm like, this is my stuff. This is my pretty stuff. I made a little, and I realized that that is something really shallow to be salty about, but gosh darn it, I put a lot of work into trying to make this closet look cute. If they're eating crushed ice and sugar, just make rock candy at that point. They're making their own rock candy and they're killing their teeth. And in addition, it keeps them up half the night. So, I'm not down for that. Although, yeah, rock candy is cool. Making rock candy at home is cool. You can just put that string in the sugar water and then it starts to form the crystal. Got to let go of that ground. I'm just saying, I know I'm supposed to let go of that, but it's also just, it's so hard. Me to Margie for months now. I just don't want to feel like I did before selling it there towards the end. Just want to feel like I did before selling it there towards the yeah, exactly. I'm also on Depop. I've sold one thing. I know nothing about Depop style. Me neither. You might have to have it set to share randomly and set it to share an order, I think. I can try. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Well, when I look for stuff on Posh, I look up sizes. I don't look through people's closet. I know. And most people do, right? Most people do, mama. And it's just, I know it's my little pet peeve. And I'm like, oh, I want my closet to look cute, but you can't always get what you want. There's an option to share it in reverse order, bottom to top. Just leave that toggled off. Oh, I think I have it toggled on actually. Still missing some thumbs. Thank you, Jennifer. If y'all haven't hit the thumbs up and you'd like to, I would love to see that. I used to be obsessed with keeping like 250 listings organized by color and type, but the point is moved. I know, right? You ever go into somebody's closet and it's like it looks like a perfect rainbow and it looks like a perfect showroom, and you're like, wow, everything is so perfectly organized in this closet, and it drives me crazy. It's like scrubbing the floor right before a rainstorm, and then the dogs come in with mud. It's just it drives me crazy. Old school. Poor kid snow cones, freezer frost build up with syrup on it. That's not bad. It's a time waste. Yeah, it kind of is. Use that time to list two more things instead. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. That just it bothered me, and I had to get a little salty about it. I get salty sometimes about things that, God grant me the serenity to control things I can, I guess. Let's start to, I am going to do the 7th inning stretch. I invite you to do it with me. We're just going to raise our hands above our head. I'm just going to do this and do it. Oh my God, I need a yawn. And I'm reaching towards the sky, and I'm reaching towards the other sky. Okay, so 7th inning stretch. If everybody's taking the time just to stretch out a little bit. I know that sometimes we get to be keyboard warriors and we forget to sort of stand up and stretch and dance with your hands above your head. They are really beating that to death on TikTok. They've already beat it to death. I shouldn't even say they're beating it to death. They're not they've already beat it to death. So yeah, that thing is dead and stinking. They're just killing it. And yet it's so catchy that I can't quit. That's going to be in my head all day. I do want to give some sweets for the sweetest. I need to do a secret shout out to a young fellow who takes fire prevention very seriously. I saw your video. Oh my God, I adore you. Because he's a minor, we're not going to say his name, but he did a video and he sounded exactly like a real newscaster. It was so phenomenal, and much love forever from Glamz Closet. Thrift Life, Matt, I think Matt I think his name is Matt, is moving forward with a new direction in his reselling channel. We certainly wish him the best of luck. He was talking about going exploring the world and doing his channel that way. So that's cool. And he's got a whole explanation, and he's much more verbose than I am. So you'll probably want to take a look at his channel. He's a master of the English language, so he explains it much better than I do. You're going to do some listing in a few minutes. Well, if you want, you can play Veronica Mitka in the background. She's going through her bins in just a couple of minutes. I like Matt. Yeah, he's got such a great insight, and the menswear manifesto is just brilliant. Boyfriend just came home with candy and Dr. Pepper. He knows me so well. Oh, yeah, that is super sweet, Liv. My child, Nugget. Okay, we'll start calling him Nugget. He told me to type that. Oh, guess what? You're a Nugget. Veronica's child. I know who you are. I know your real name, and you're a Nugget. I love it. You're a chicken nugget, which are, by the way, my favorite type of nuggets. He knows menswear. He does, right? He's really he's a smarty. He does all of the research, and so we don't have to. So that's nice. I want to wrap us up with a couple of thoughts. The random acts of kindness this week. It was a little bit tougher because I wasn't doing what I normally do. So I was kind of out of my element doing homework and going to places that I don't normally go, like schools. Anymore anyway. So it was a little more difficult, but I talked with my grandkids about practicing random acts of kindness, and my grandson really took it seriously. They're allowed to take a snack to school, and he took an extra snack, and he shared it with a friend who didn't have a snack. His mom had forgotten his snack that day. So I thought that was a very sweet random act of kindness. I honestly, letting people in front of me in lines all week has been like my biggest random act of kindness. That's not a very good one, but that's what I've got. So those have been my random acts of kindness. I threw out a few compliments and maybe some support to some other people, but that's just I don't know. I think that's just generally kind of one of those things that we do. One of those things that we do as people, as women, as resellers, is kind of, it's a great community. But yeah, it was really adorable when he, and I said, why are we out of bananas? And he's like, I took an extra banana. And I said, oh, okay. Did you have 2 snacks today? Grandma can go buy some more bananas. No problem. He said, yes, I took 2 snacks. And I gave 1 banana to my friend because he didn't have a snack. And I said, that was very sweet. That's very sweet. I said, that's what we do. We share. And because you shared, I'm going to reward you, because that's what we do. Right. That's it's good to reinforce that message, I guess. So random acts of kindness. I do want to remind everybody, tomorrow is Spring Forward. So we're going to lose an hour. A friend of mine was telling me that this is the last time that we do that, and that they're going to do away with daylight savings time. I'll believe it when I see it. But at this point, they still have it, and you still have to spring forward. So please don't forget to set your clocks forward tomorrow. Spring forward by the hour, and we'll lose that hour of sleep on Monday. Yes, exactly. Boo. Exactly. Boo. That's what I said. Boo. Suck it, daylight savings time. Thank God it didn't happen this week, or I would have been smashed trying to get up and get kids off to school in the morning and get them ready and fed and cleaned and all that stuff. Yeah, so we have daylight savings time. If you haven't subscribed or liked or hit the bell or any of that, if you could do that for me, that'd be great. I would appreciate it. And to end with, let's wrap this up. Has anybody done a random act of kindness this week that you want to share with us? Or can anybody think of a random act of kindness that you'd like to share with us? Now, I realize that most of us do our kind acts in secret, as we should. But I think it's important too to give other people ideas about things that you can do that are kind, that maybe sometimes we don't think about, because we've got our lives to live. We've got busy lives. So anyway, Grandpa and my husband and I are going to the farmers market today downtown. I'm so excited. I haven't been there in years, and it's the old historic farmers market in St. Louis downtown. It's called Soulard Farmers Market. And it's like it's a covered over thing, but it's like these old cast iron railings from like the early 1900s. I mean, it's incredible. And they've got a spice store that I remember hating when I was a kid, and I love it as an adult. Because you walk in and it smells a little weird, right? It's got all the spices, not just the sweet smelling spices. But I want to check out the spice store, and they have fantastic stalls. Yes, you've been there. Yes, exactly, Kristen. I do love a good farmer's market, and normally we would go earlier, but I have live this morning, and I was like, no, I want to spend time with my friends before we go. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up some street tacos or something there. They usually have something like, some guy who's like a vendor just off on the side. And you guys know, if nothing else, I am willing to explore things that I probably shouldn't, when it comes to food. For example, airport sushi in Mexico, don't do that. Gas station boudin in Louisiana, don't do that either. So, I try it. I try it and risk food poisoning, so you don't have to. Anyway, we're going to have fun doing that. And then we're headed to the art museum to meet some friends. And they do have actually a really great restaurant at the art museum too. So maybe we'll wait and have lunch at the art museum. I don't know. But we're going to have a fun weekend. We've got fundraisers tomorrow, and my grandson's first football game. So we're excited. It's going to be really a fun weekend. And hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I'm not bent over a toilet from some weird street food tomorrow. I'm just perfectly angelic as it is. You are, Jamie. I've always said this. There are some things that I do more naturally, but I need to concentrate more on random acts of kindness. You know what? It's not just you, it's all of us. Let's make the world a better place this week. So with that being said, and with my plans on deck, I'm gonna go buy some cheap bulk zucchini, I guess, at this farmer's market. And check out a spice shop. I hope you guys have 10 times more fun than even I do. And I know I'm going to have fun. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday and a fantastic weekend. Do not forget, Veronica Mitka has a premiere, so you can hang out in the chat with her. Keep your phones on, keep your YouTube on, and she will be right after this show in the next 2 minutes. So in the meantime, in between time, just wanted to let you all know that that I am really, really grateful, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Nita, hold on. Random act of kindness from my manager at Jimmy John's. I work there part-time. We had a homeless man come in and say he was asking everyone for food. My manager didn't hesitate to give him a meal. Nita, that is incredible. That is incredible. I love that. I love hearing about that. I love hearing about people just being good humans and kind. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So this is where I jump off, and I am going to say, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday and a wonderful week. Mwah. Never forget. Don't you ever forget. Glamz loves you. Bye.